So where are we up to?
Tea party time!
We just had the showdown between Will and Claire.
Mm-hmm.
It was revealed I don't actually know the answers.
Yes, I think that was the biggest plot twist of all time.
Not even. You did
What do you
better than
mean
I
not
thought you
even?
would in, understanding it. Granted,
Really?
it's pretty...
Wait, what do you mean better than you thought you would?
It's
What
pretty
did you
obvious, but I don't know what I was thinking. I felt like you wouldn't understand it as much.
Is that what you think of me?
Yes, that's exactly...
I'll have you know, my time traveling Maria theories are big brain theories, okay? So big brain that maybe a whole lot of people don't understand.
So anyway, what are we getting into now? We've
Uh,
uncovered the culprit
yeah.
and the motive,
Uh,
right?
yeah.
Did we?
I think so.
So what's left in the story?
Wait, what was it? The theory and the culprit?
The motive and the
The
culprit.
motive. Wait, no, we got the culprit. We've got
Uh-huh.
the motive. And it kind
Okay.
of went. I don't know. When it was with Will, was that it talking about. It doesn't fully explain the how.
Well, that's
I
what he
feel
went
like.
over.
But I feel like there could be more. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, they could have been more on the nose about it. But, Earth to Earth, illusions to illusions, pretty self-explanatory. Fact versus
Bleh.
fiction.
Mm, maybe. Maybe not. I don't know.
So what have we got left?
Um,
We we kind of established already.
what did we? I forgot. I
What do we
forgot.
have left in this story?
Um, Angie.
Gee.
Yes.
And how are they gonna set that up?
Well, that's what we got to find out, right?
Yeah, hopefully my...
Is this Angie right now, or is this someone else?
I'll tell you in a sec. I'm just saying... I don't know if it's my computer, but my audio keeps picking up this hum I've noticed in the recordings, and I
Are
don't
you
know.
sure that hum hasn't been there the whole time?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. It's only been since the last two that I've uploaded. I think it's just computer fan. I can't really do much about that, so... So
Hmm.
this is going to be your character. It's a character you played this episode.
Don't tell me Angie's not real.
It's not Anji.
Beatrice?
No,
Ava.
no. It's
Hmm.
Leon. Or is it?
It's Leon, is it? Leon? When I came to, all was silent. The room was dimly lit. And yet, it was massive. Where on earth is this? I was sitting in what seemed to be a very short sofa. It was very constricting, and it looked like there were several more of them off to each side of me. Once I noticed that, I realized that I was in a theater. Where on earth am I? I don't know how long I've been here. Why is Decky laughing?
I'm not laughing.
more importantly, I don't know where this is. How come Leon doesn't have blue eyes like Beatrice? Beatrice's funeral ended. Everyone went back to the mansion, and don't tell me they are gonna go kill everyone. And after that, my memory gets fuzzy, and I can't recall anything else. Then I was surprised to notice the presence of another person. Apparently, I wasn't the only one sitting in the audience seating of this vast theatre. The sound had come from a seat to the side of mine. Featherine? When I looked, I saw a girl sitting several seats off to my left. It was a face I had never seen before. Who is she? She looked like a high schooler or a college student, about the same age as I was.
Maria?
Mm-mm. She groaned. Apparently, she had just woken up. I didn't want to scare her, so I decided to introduce myself first. Hello? Is this the first time we've seen Angie like this?
No.
No? Okay. I was just surprised. I'm used to the old sprite for Angie. Apparently, she was equally surprised to find someone other than herself here. She jumped when she heard my greeting. Who the hell are you? I feel the same way. It seems that neither of us is here of our own accord. Is that the one-winged crest? Oh my goodness, their voices together is not going to go well. Huh? Do you recognize this crest? She looked suspiciously at the one-winged crest emblazoned on my collar. Her stare, which was unmoving but not openly hostile, wasn't exactly pleasant for me. Allow me to introduce myself first. I am Ushiramiya Leon. Ushiramiya, huh? What? Leon, written as kanji, but pronounced Leon. Pretty strange name, don't you think? No stranger than mine, but I'll have to apologize. I don't know who you are. That's hardly surprising, since I don't know you either. That's not what I meant. Who are you? There's no one like you in the Yoshiramiya family. And why are you so sure? Do you have something to do with my family? I'm a member of the Ushiramiya family. But that's... She showed me her sleeve and the crest of the one-winged eagle emblazoned upon it. I regret having to ask the same question, but who are you? I have never seen you in the Ushiramiya family. No.
What?
They're not going to make them the same person, are they?
What?
I'm so confused. Okay, never mind.
She's referencing past games.
I know she's... Yeah, it's okay. First they tear me into little bits, then they make me read. What's next? Which witch am I supposed to be entertaining this time? She spat out those words and seemed to be complaining about something. Angie, I'm Ushiramiya Angie, Rudolph and Kirie's daughter. What? Angie-chan? But You're supposed to be 6 years old. Time traveling Maria!
There's no Maria in this.
She's the time traveler! I was 6 during the year of the final family conference on Rikkenjima. Now I get it. So, you're a person from the year 1986. I'm 18 years old. And I'm from the year 1998. In other words, you're the Auntie-chan of 12 years in the future? I'm glad you believe it, but unfortunately I don't have a clue who you are. Who are you? Who are your parents? Oh, it's a complicated story. My father is Kraus. Natsuhi is my mother. That would make you Jessica One-chan. Jessica is my little sister. What's going on? Wasn't Jessica One-chan an only child? By this point, I was starting to figure out the situation this auntie had come from. She's probably from the world where I awakened as a witch, the world where Leon doesn't exist. It would be a bit difficult to explain, but think of it this way. In a world slightly different from the one you know, I am also a member of the Ushiromiya family. In your world, a different fate leads me to walk a different path through life, so that I do not live as an Ushiromiya family member. Are you a witch? Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm just an ordinary human. What I just told you is something I heard from the witch called Berncastle-san. Berncastle? That one with the long blue hair and the gloomy face? Yes, that probably fits her, I think. In other words, I've been forced to play along with another witch's farce. Just where is this place? I only woke up a second ago myself. I'm wondering the same thing. It looks like a theater. Are we supposed to watch a play or something? I'm really not in the mood now. Let's look for an exit. You haven't noticed yet? Look. Huh? Ah, these are... Clink. I finally noticed. Both of my wrists and ankles had chains attached to them. As long as I sat here, I had enough slack that I could move about a little, but it looked like there wouldn't be nearly enough for me to get out of this place. Who would do something like this? Once a witch has made you her piece, you'll be their plaything forever. There's no way to escape. Auntie crossed her legs, making the chains clink together. She realized that no amount of struggling could have broken those chains. Getting panicky wouldn't accomplish anything. She must have had nerves of steel. What do you mean, a witch's piece? It's like being their slave. I made a deal once. I said I wanted to see my family, to bring them back from that day. In exchange for making that a possibility, that witch turned me into a witch's piece. At least, that witch kept her promise. I was able to see Oni-chan again. You mean Badla-kun? Well, I wasn't even able to tell him who I was. And in exchange for that short bit of time, I'm now trapped inside the witch's toy box for all eternity. Looks like you are too. Did you make some sort of contract? Nothing of that sort. Did you ever ask a witch to grant a wish for you? Never. She taught me what a miracle my existence is. That's all. Either way, neither of us is getting out of here. Okay, witches, What kind of show do you have for us this time? Have we moved from reading aloud to theatre going? Am I supposed to watch someone else read aloud this time or what? If that's it, then start it up already. I'm bored enough as it is. Angie yelled this to the pitch-black stage. Her voice reverberated throughout the theatre, but no one gave an answer. No, someone did. And that was also in a voice that rang out across the theatre. However, that voice sounded theatrical, as though someone was announcing the start of a play. Which one is that? Beatrice? What happened on that day, you ask? I'm not telling. If only you just give up and die. Wait, that's Ava, isn't it? That's Ava Beatrice.
You might be right. It might have been Ava.
Because she was the one who was always saying, give up and die.
Yeah.
Whose voice was that? That old hag. It was Aunt Ava's voice.
There you go.
What does she mean by what happened on that day? She's talking about the 4th and 5th of October in the year 1986. The day of the final family conference in Rikendjima. In other words, today. Today is October 4th, 1986. As a prelude to the family conference, Beatrice's funeral was held. That's a surprise. Sir, you've come here from October 4th, 1986? Tell me, what happened during those 2 days? The answer she seeks is inside the cat box. All I can tell her is about my close call with a sad life. However, I doubt that explanation will satisfy her. Then, a pillar of bright light pierced the stage. There stood a white shadow. The white dress was obviously Claire's. Of course, Angie didn't recognize her. She looked suspicious, apparently wondering who in the world this was. However, even if I felt as though something was wrong, didn't she settle all of her regrets in that funeral a short while ago, before being sent off into the next world? She stood all alone, in the narrow beam of light in the center of the stage, and the expression on her face was lifeless. The light began to grow brighter and brighter. It shone more and more fiercely on her, until it became blinding just to look at her. It's a flare! The world was enveloped by a light so bright that we couldn't open our eyes. Surrounded by a sound like wind or television static. And our minds began to go blank.
Pretty. Whoa! They're blooming wonderfully again this year. It must be a pain to take care of all of these. Pretty easy for us, though, just looking at them.
I agree. We've got to thank the people who take care of them for us. But it is a bit lacking in grace. I prefer the way it used to be before Nissan decided to pile so much on.
The old look did have its own charm, didn't it?
Ooh! I love roses. I like them even more if they didn't have thorns. Ooh!
Whoa! This rose garden really takes me back. I'd totally forgotten about it these past 6 years. I guess it really has been that long. Both you and this garden have changed so much.
Let me introduce you. This is Canon-kun, one of our servants. This is the first time you've met Battler, right?
Pleased to meet you. You can just call me Battler. Nice to meet you.
Shannon's here too today. Remember when we used to play together?
Ah, Shannon-chan. I'd totally forgotten. That really takes me back. How's she been doing? She's grown more and more beautiful these past 6 years. You should say hi to her later on.
Shannon and George and Lee-chan are really good friends. Ooh.
Maria, shh. That's a secret.
If you would, everyone, allow me to guide you to the guest house.
I'd say you go.
Yeah, okay. After enjoying the lovely welcome provided by the roses, the relatives followed Goda in the direction of the guest house.
They all look so happy. Wait, this is as they've arrived, isn't it? It's not...
Yeah.
Okay.
October 4th, 1986, Rikenjin. In a world without Leon. On the day of the Yushirimia family conference.
Do the kids have to attend the conference itself, or is it just the
No,
parents?
just the adults. Battler had to attend it when he solved the epitaph with Eriko.
But he was like the head, so it made sense.
That was episode 5 before he was the head. Oh, I mean, like, the whole becoming the head if you solve it, that was still, like, up for speculation, and that's why he had to join them.
Mm.
Maria read a mysterious letter aloud after dinner, just as she had been told to. The writer of the letter claimed to be the Golden Witch Beatrice, and challenged the family. Try and solve the riddle of the epitaph, otherwise I will take everything. It was Beatrice's announcement of the game's start, the same as the usual games. Had an unknown person appeared, related to the problem of the inheritance's distribution? Where was the 20 billion yen worth of gold hidden? What was the purpose of this letter? For what goal had it been written? Who on earth is Beatrice? It was the usual dinner on October 4th, where several bits of suspicion and paranoia crept in?
Intertwined.
George-kun, I'm sorry, but could you go to the guest house with the others? My apologies.
Shannon! Take the children to the guest house. We will move straight on to the family conference.
Yes, as you wish.
Beatrice, the Golden Witch. What a fascinating letter you sent us.
She is telling us to solve the epitaph? Ridiculous. That gold belongs to us. Why would we ever give it up to some outsider?
If we could just find that gold, we'd all be happy. No one would have to lose anything. Let's go, everyone. They'll be having an adult conversation from here on out. Sheesh. Sounds like it's gonna get complicated.
Come on, Maria. Let's go.
The honor ceremony has begun. Okay, everyone. I shall guide you to the guest house. To
But
your
where is Koro?
doom.
What's all this about? Probably a replay of one of the old games, or else an entirely new game. In all the games, October 4th happens in pretty much the same way. A new game? You mean a tale that hasn't appeared in any of the fragments so far? There's no way they'd go to the trouble of chaining us down if they just wanted to show us a game we already knew. It's probably a new game. That means there should be a game master. Who is it? That witch, Burncastle? I can't imagine so. Claire should have vanished already. There should be no need to spin up a new tale. Beato's game board was hijacked by those evil witches long ago. Even Beato is nothing more than a piece in their games. Just who is behind this? And what are they after? What do they want to show us? Before this tale began, Claire definitely appeared on the stage. She is the teller of the tale of Beatrice's game. Beatrice, the me from a world of a different fate. However, didn't she entrust everything to Will, who solved all of the riddles? There should be no need for her to make new riddles. In that case, is Burncastle using this tale to test me? Along with Will, I have at least touched the deepest depths of this tale and understood the culprit's heart. So even if an entirely new tale presents itself, I should be able to see through the riddles. Is that what my role is? Is my role to teach Angie about the truth of this tale?
Do you know what's going on?
I have no idea.
Do you?
Do you know?
What was the motive?
Well, we're assuming the motive was, like, Battler not remembering. I may have forgotten the motive. Can you remind me?
No, continue.
Oh, why do you do this to me? Fine. Fine. Do you know the truth of this tale? I have several theories. Still, none of those can give a conclusive answer. The truth is always inside the cat box. You can't say anything for sure. In this world, Angie is absent on this day, so it's only natural that she doesn't know what happened. However, at the very least, I do know who the culprit is, and what they were trying to do on this day. I think I finally understood my role in this. What do you mean? Apparently, you're here as a theater goer, and I am here as a commentator. Then, as a commentator, what exactly is it you're going to explain to me? After all, I know who's behind the crime that's about to occur. What did you say?
When I say commentator, I just think of like a sports commentator.
Yeah, I think of that too.
And then he gouges the eye out. Watch out for this one. Thinking about it straightforwardly, the only explanation I see is that someone's trying to make us solve the epitaph, hoping to then snatch the gold for themselves. I agree.
I think that's like Kraus is saying that, but I can see Kraus also doing that himself. Like being like, oh, if you know how to solve the epitaph, yes, go ahead, solve the epitaph. Oh, the gold is mine. I am the head of the Ushiria family. I don't know, something like that. I can see Kraus doing that. He seems a little bit like shady. True, yeah.
I agree. If they'd already solved it, they could just take it. There'd be no need to challenge us to solve the riddle.
It's a prank by one of the servants. They must be hoping to pick up the scraps from the celebration if the gold is found. I cannot imagine that any of our servants would do such a thing.
Or maybe one of us sent the letter, pretending to be a servant.
If that's it, you're the most suspicious one. You schooled Maria-chan on her part and made her read the letter, didn't you?
I wouldn't do that. Give that a rest, Ava. We can't jump to conclusions.
Isn't this the time for us to all stick together?
That's right. The aim of this strange letter is probably to disrupt our unity. The more we let it affect us, the more things will go the way of this Beatrice who sent it.
Kirie-san's right. Wouldn't it be best to simply ignore a letter like that from the start?
And that's just what I've been saying this whole time. This sort of prank is not
Shut
worth
up,
considering.
Nazi.
Yes, that's it exactly. If a couple improbable claims for damages get you flustered, you'll never be able to sell anything.
My husband's right. This is a child's prank, and taking it seriously is just a waste of time. If someone really wanted to shake up the inheritance issue, they'd come forward boldly instead of using something this roundabout.
You've got it right there. Someone probably wants to make us think that there's another person trying to make demands about the inheritance, when their goal is just to pick up the scraps. I wonder if they'll ask for some hush money in exchange for staying out of the inheritance issue.
If that were the case, they should have written it into the letter.
And the letter is just a challenge, telling us to try solving the epitaph or else hand over everything.
The culprit is trying to make us solve the epitaph's riddle. Nothing more, nothing less.
So, it's simple. If we worry about this letter, we lose. Indeed, I agree. After that big mysterious show, like something out of a mystery novel, we've all gotten a bit too wrapped up in this. Ha 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 ha. It seems we're all taking this too seriously.
But who did it? Such an aggravating thing to do. If it wasn't a servant, then one of us must have written it. I'm not naming names, of course.
Stop it. I really know nothing about this.
Settle down. Anyway, what this letter says does make a bit of sense. All of us need money, and if possible, we need it right away. No one here has any objections to that, right?
Of course not. Whether it's money or love, you can never have too much. We don't know when Father's inheritance will come to us. However, the gold of the epitaph is different. If we find it, we could just split it then and there.
In a sense, it's even closer to us now than the inheritance is.
Assuming we can solve the epitaph.
Everyone here has tried solving it on their own, yes?
Kirie asked the room at large, and everyone wordlessly nodded back.
Here we have 4 people who have inherited the blood of the one who made that riddle, and each has tried solving it on their own. That doesn't sound very efficient, does it?
True. We've all been greedy and tried to go at it alone. However, we've already reached a decision about how we'll split the gold up if it's found, and about acknowledging Anarchy as the successor. Though you demanded quite a lot in exchange. I wonder if we can solve that epitaph, if we pool our efforts and work together.
2 heads are better than 1. And here we have 7. Today we reached a general agreement about the inheritance problem. Why not take a shot at the epitaph for a bit of fun on the side?
Nice idea. Let's give it a try and call it a break.
Ridiculous! Of course there's no hidden gold.
Take it easy. Just think of it as a game. Let's have Koda-san bring out something cool to drink. We can take a break and all play with riddles as a big, happy bunch of siblings for once. Well, the night is long. It would at least be more productive than pointless inquiries into Father's health. I'll ring up Koda-san. He can bring us something.
Let's have tea and sweets. Oh, and a map of Taiwan. Wait, so... I forgot his name. Oh my goodness. What's the head's name?
Kinzo?
Ginzo's been dead though
Ginzo?
Kinzo's dead,
Yeah.
right? But how does nobody know that he's dead?
Natsuki and Kraus are covering it up. As well
So
as
they
like
know-
Genji and stuff.
So they know he's dead. The servants obviously know he's dead. So in this reality, I can't remember, what's the reason that they're covering it up? Is it still the same as the old games, or is it different?
So yeah, the problem was like there's the inheritance distribution problem, which includes like the headship and everything.
Oh, because there was no inheritance because he spent it?
Kinzo didn't have a will, and so like by default they would assume that Kraus would be the successor. But then when you've got like the epitaph involved, people are saying that's the true, like, you solve this, you're the inheritor of everything. And
Right, because the epitaph's been out for a while now. Wait, was it this year that it was? Wait, how many years has it been since Kinzo died again? I need like a timeline.
I'm trying to remember. It was like, it was when Yasu figured out the epitaph. He died, right? So
But
that
he
was,
basically died on the spot.
yeah, that was like a year or two before Battler came back.
So he's been dead roughly about 2 years.
I'd go with 1 year. But it's like
I think it might actually too.
maybe. But like essentially they've been covering it up. And so if they were, you know, it's kind of like, okay, I just won't say anything. Might go into it more later. Two shadows could be seen in the Rose Garden Arbor. It was George and Shannon's secret meeting. I want you to take this ring.
George-sama.
I swear to love you all my life, not just now while we're young. I swear to love you and keep you happy until we get old and go to our graves.
Are there any lies or exaggerations in your words?
No, not one. Why am I making this face? I'm confident in my resolve to love you and build a happy household together with you.
And what would this happy household be like?
Well, it will be full of happiness. We'll have a house with a car and a yard, and one dog. The yard will have a vegetable garden. The kids will run around and we'll smile down on them from the balcony. That's what our typical future Sunday will look like.
That would be wonderful.
What? Those two are going out?
Shh! Why are you so damn loud? Maria will wake up.
See. So that's how it is. Now that you mentioned it, they seem to have a pretty good mood going on there. That's right, we're about the age where you fall in love.
We've changed a lot in the last 6 years. George Nissan used to be a bit unreliable, but he isn't anymore.
That's what I thought. George Aniki's got that air of dignity thing going. But still, Shannon-chan and George Aniki, that's a bit unexpected. They played together often enough 6 years ago, but I didn't think they were that close.
They weren't, Butler. You left the space for George to weasel his way in.
Well, 6 years is a long time.
These 6 years have been huge for all of us.
Yep. A lot's happened to me these 6 years, and to be honest, I've forgotten almost everything about Rikenjima.
Does that mean, do you think he still had, like, some feelings for Shannon?
I reckon he's still,
And that's why he's, like, so, like, shocked?
Yeah.
But if he still had some feelings, surely he must have had some memories of like the promises they made and the things they did.
He probably did remember some of it.
Well, why didn't he answer the question when they were quizzing him? Okay. And I'd forgotten almost everything about you too.
Now that really hurts. Talking together like this, it felt as though we'd been teleported 6 years into the past. 6 long years, so long that I forgot almost everything. And yet, it's coming back to me, bit by bit. Shannon-chan. 6 years ago, you were part of our group, and we played together a lot, didn't we? Back then, I think I might have liked Shannon-chan. That was the age when we were all overly self-conscious, in love with love. Bittersweet memories of jokes involving melodramatic, flippant words. That takes me back. I think I remember saying all kinds of stuff that I'd be way too embarrassed to say now. God, just remembering it is make my face go red.
Shannon might be a scatterbrain, but her memory's incredible. Guess I'll just have to ask her all about your dark, embarrassing history.
Quit it. That was 6 years ago. The statute of limitations has got to be up. I see. So, Shannon-chan is going out with George Aniki. What am I thinking? Could this be jealousy? I didn't really think about it until now, but that thing Shannon-chan and I had back then was probably my first love. Well, it's not like I have any right to be jealous after forgetting the whole thing until we met again.
Well, there you go. So he just remembered when he saw her. Everyone knows that Dad's hometown was Taisho in Taiwan. He still chews, I reckon, nuts from time to time in memory of that place. Apparently he got hooked on that instead of smoking when he was young.
But there must have been several rivers there with Sweetfish River.
Ah! Sweetfish swimming in there, like, that was a terrible sentence.
It has several mountain streams that are famous sweet fish. Oh no.
See?
Ah!
Sweet fish, it doesn't roll off properly.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it's not. It has several mountain streams that are famous sweet fish fishing spots. Anyway, you could probably find sweet fish living anywhere the water was clean. We're completely stuck.
Maybe it was just some nearby creek Father played in as a kid. He said sweetfish, but maybe we're looking for something more like carp.
Oh, could it be some sort of metaphor? The river isn't necessarily a river with water flowing through it. What do you mean by that? Well, now, who knows?
Kiria has a point there. Isn't it a bit too early to be sure that Taiwan is this homeland, or that this Sweetfish River is a river with water flowing down it?
If we look at it that way, we're just stuck again. The more you think about this riddle, the harder it gets.
That's it. This is just a riddle. Kiryu-san is right. We need to be flexible in our thinking.
If we're looking for a river near Taisho, that would have to be Danshui River.
Are you even listening? We just said that it might not be the kind of river with water flowing down it. Is there any proof that this river is a Sweetfish River?
You're right. I'm sorry.
Well, it probably did have sweetfish in it. After all, Danshui does mean freshwater. Makes sense that a freshwater fish like sweetfish would be swimming in it. Sweetfish are freshwater fish, so a sweetfish river would be a freshwater river. Is that how we get Danshui River? Ha 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 ha! Quite the word game.
Now that's an interesting theory. Let's advance our reasoning a bit further. As you travel down and wait for the lag. As you travel down the river, you will see a village. What's the name of the town at the mouth of the Danshui River? It says Danshui here. I went sightseeing in Danshui. It was a calm and gentle harbor town. Beautiful sunsets.
And did you find the shore the two will tell you of?
Not really. It doesn't ring any bells.
I guess the beloved hometown wasn't in Taiwan. It might have been Otawara after all.
If we can't discount any possibilities, then we won't get anywhere. We can't even get past the first line of the epitaph.
Quiet, you're distracting me. It has to be Taiwan. Father wouldn't describe any other place as beloved. That is one thing we can agree upon. To this very day, Taiwan is the homeland of Father's heart.
It's probably best if we don't spend too much time on the first line. I'm going to take a look at the others. Just a quick peek, starting at the first twilight.
Me too. I'll leave the Sweetfish River to you, Aneki, and have a go at the second half.
On the first twilight, offer the 6 chosen by the key as sacrifices. How mysterious. I've got it.
Ava suddenly muttered. All of the others spun around to look at her. Ava was flipping through the pages about Taiwan with incredible force, then found the page she was looking for and slammed the book open so hard that it almost tore. This whole time the book had been open to the page with place names. As far as the overall mass of information went, this seemed the most useful page to start from. However, the page Ava opened to was very limited in the scope of its information. It was a map of railway lines.
As you travel down the river, there's a village. A village. There it is, the village!
What are you talking about, Ava? Explain yourself.
Quiet! There's a shore too, and a mouth. I'm not sure what it means by the two, but there definitely is a village and a shore and a mouth. This has to be it. This is definitely the village where the key to the gold sleeps.
Calm down. Explain it so we can understand too.
The Danshui line? I see. So, the Sweetfish River was actually a railroad called the Danshui line. Well, I doubt there were any sweet fish swimming there. Look! If we follow the Danshui line down, there's a station that used to be known as Kirigan. Look at the characters it's written in. There's a village, Kuchi, there's a village, Machi, a mouth, Kuchi, and a shore. What was shore again?
Nah, I have no idea.
She's right.
There's a village, you know.
Mouth and a shore.
As you travel down the river, you will see a village. True, that's the only station on the Danshui line that has the character for village in its name. I see. It's like a code pointing towards this station's name.
This has to be it. There's no doubt. We just need to look a bit further, and we'll definitely find out what the two who speak means. Look! This is it. This is it. The region around the station has the same name, except with a mouth in the second character. That makes a total of 2 mouths in Kirigan. Are those the two who speak?
Incredible, Nesson. This has to be it.
Does this mean that the key is hidden somewhere in this town of Kirigan? I wonder. The whole riddle so far has been a word game. If so, isn't it likely that the sleeping key is also a word game? I agree. On the first twilight, the key selects 6 sacrifices, right? So, it's hard to imagine that it's actually something key-shaped.
Ooh, this is getting damn interesting.
Offer up the 6 chosen by the key. Let's think of a key that's somehow related to this. And let's break down this name, Kirigan. I'm absolutely sure that this is a word game. It has to be. Think, everyone!
That's interesting. Though this rain would get me down if I were alone, it feels nice and cool when you're by my side.
It's about time for us to head back. I'm keeping Kanekun waiting.
You're right. And I've probably kept Jessica-chan and Badler-kun waiting.
It brings back good memories. Remember when the 4 of us used to play together? It was a lot of fun back then too.
To me, it's a lot more fun now, because I get you all to myself.
Oh, George-sama.
Oh, you. They laughed at George's melodramatic line. However, George's laugh seemed just slightly forced.
George-sama?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I guess I still have a bit of an inferiority complex when it comes to Badler-kun.
An inferiority complex?
Like Uncle Rudolph, he's lively, interesting, and just full of energy. He's much more attractive than I am. I can tell how much he outshines me when we're together.
That's not true. You're very accomplished and attractive. You are worse than Badler-sama in any way.
Really?
Don't make me feel like I'm taking a consolation prize, George. Yes, really.
The truth is, when I first heard that Badler-kun would be coming back this year, I wasn't happy about it.
Why not?
6 years ago, Badler-kun was the one who was really close to you. I wanted to get closer to you, but I just couldn't manage to get between the two of you. You two just looked so good together that I couldn't do anything but watch on longingly.
Is that how it was? Wasn't it just Badler-sama making fun of me one-sidedly?
Of course, you looked incredibly good together. There's no doubt about that. I was sure that you two were going out.
That never happened. You're overthinking it.
Oh, because Shannon doesn't have her memories. Technically. It's hidden from her, isn't it?
Well, they weren't going out technically.
Mm.
They just had their meetings.
And their, like, promise of, like, yeah.
I really am pathetic. I was afraid that when I handed you this ring today, you'd refuse.
Why is that? Why should I refuse your ring, George-san?
Oh, she's dropped the summer.
Because Badler-kun came back. I was afraid that you might like Badler-kun even now. And that, now that he's here, you wouldn't have any use for me.
George-san? Please, look at this. You see the silver glint on my ring finger? What do you think that is?
You're right. Sorry. What's got me so shaken, I wonder? I'm probably still jealous of him, now that he's gotten even cooler these past 6 years. How pathetic.
No, it's okay. Those feelings are a sign that your love for me is so strong you don't even want to give me up to anyone. If you're worried about my feelings switching to Badler-sama, just love me all the stronger so that such a thing would be unthinkable. Love me so much that I don't have time to think about other men. I'm scared too. I'm sure you'll meet many women in the future who are much more attractive than me, or you might tire of me when I don't match up to your expectations. It scares me to think that I might not be able to grasp hold of your feelings for the rest of my life.
There's no need for you to be scared of that. I swear to love you all my life.
But even though I swore the same thing, you were having trouble believing it just because Baptism came back.
As Shannon giggled, George finally realized that his own lack of confidence had hurt her.
I've fallen for a wonderful man named Ushirimiya George-san. And this is a man who was sworn to love me all his life, and who has given me a ring as a sign of this oath. With this ring here in my ring finger, I can give an honest confession.
Sure.
Yes, as you said, I did like Butler Summer 6 years ago. I think I probably liked him more than you.
George just leaves, takes the ring.
Oh, the stab. Oh, I feel it. Oh, even though I don't like George. Ah.
Punch in the gut.
Okay, where are we going with this, Shannon?
However, that was 6 years ago. Now things are different. In these 6 years, I've sorted out my feelings for Butler Summer and cut myself up from them long ago, along with the memories of the past. Now I exist only to love you.
Shannon spoke clearly and strongly. George gave a single, uncertain laugh. It was probably the same sort of laugh that George of 6 years ago had made. Then he stretched resolutely and hugged Shannon, without saying a word. In that moment, he said goodbye to the person he had been 6 years ago.
Chapter 1.
What chapter 1? How many chapters are there in this tea party? This is a tea party, right?
Yeah, I think there's only like 3 or 4, maybe.